no more bullshit. Let's just get right into it. So basically, it's kind of hard to just kind of explain this really, but I've been in this battle for 3 years. Okay, so I haven't necessarily, you know, um, done this once or twice. I've done it like multiple times, even before the allegations. People been canceling me and stuff. However, though, this video is undeniable evidence, proof, and factual statements that prove that I've been being set up from the beginning, that I was never a groomer, that I always complied with Florida Romeo and Juliet laws and kept my dating age gaps between 4 years or younger, never anything above 4 years. And here I am going to show you a video from somebody who apparently people said that I groomed, and even she at one point said it herself because she was pressured to. She admits that in fact she actually was not groomed by me, named Asher. Yes, the exact people who say, oh yeah, this is his first victim. Well, apparently she finally admitted that I was indeed set up by Krova and others, and that indeed other people tried to bring me down due to drama at the time by making up lies about me, about being a groomer. So let's just watch this video, because apparently people really don't know the difference between rumors and truth. So we're about to see the difference between rumors and truth in this video right now. This is Speaking Out by Asher, aka my first victim, but whatever, let's get right into it.
Hello, I'm Alyssa, or as anyone who knows about the Decca situation, Asher. It may look like I am looking off the screen during this video as I have written something out beforehand, so I didn't have to think about what to say whilst on the spot, or else this would not have turned out any good. In 2022, there was a major thing that happened in which I was trying to expose Decca for something else, and in an attempt to gain actual evidence on him to expose him for said thing, which I cannot remember what the said thing was, I sent a photo of my thighs into his DMs, in which he smiled at and claimed he did it out of anxiety.
Which, yes, this is true. I did indeed smile at the pic because of my anxiety and not because I liked it. It's part of my, mental condition, so yeah.
However, from there, it escalated into something it shouldn't have become. I believe we both should have taken a moment to think about what we were doing before we did. Our friendship turned into something more than it ever should have become, considering I was 11 and Decca was 16. Whilst back then, I blamed Decca for grooming me, and then switched sides back and forth between saying he did and then running back to him and saying he didn't. There is no real reason to explain why I did that, other than I liked the attention Decca gave me. In 2020, I was insanely chronically online. I was obsessed with any and all attention people gave me as a result of being groomed a little while prior for months. Sorry. In no way am I trying to use that to justify my actions. However, it is part of the reason on why I did them. That is... Okay, I'm sorry, that sounds really bad. That sounds like I'm trying to justify them. I'm not good at this stuff. And for that, I would like to apologize. I'd like to apologize for posting slander videos in which the person in the video called Decca a racist, accusing Decca of being a groomer, and switching sides, and anything else that I cannot think of. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, and I'm sorry if I've missed anything important. I'm sure Decca will elaborate in the comments. Thank you for watching.
Now, I also want to say on the ending note of this video that I did indeed apologize to Asher for making fun of her weight and stuff like that. Harassing her on the internet. I should have done that. And I did apologize to her for the bullying remarks I made over to cope with the drama. And, all the diss tracks. I already took my most recent one on her down. So, I'm obviously not in that phase anymore. Yes, we did have a talk. We apologized. We reached a settlement. All of that. However, though, there you have it. Obviously, I never dated Asher. I've been literally single since 2016 when I was in elementary school. That was like in 4th grade, last time I had a girlfriend. I don't online date usually because it's too risky. So that first off crosses off the dating rumors. Me and Asher were never officially boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever, right? And then, what is it? Another thing is one of her friends accused me of being racist, which she also admitted that that's not true. Like, I'm obviously not a racist, okay? I'm literally Hispanic. Like, I have multiple people that I work with at TZE who are, like, black, white, Asian, like, Hispanic. We have multiple different, like, members of color in the TZE group that I work with, so I'm not a racist, but I wanted to clear that as well. Unlike other people on this platform who are racist to me, I am not one of those people. And although, yes, I was like that in my middle school years back when I first started rapping, I was an edgy teen. That was like in 2018, okay? I was 13 years old now. I've moved past that point, alright? So, yeah, anyways, enough of that. Back to the allegations at hand. So, yeah, clears the Asher situation. And, the thing is that this wouldn't have happened if at the time, as Asher said herself, she wasn't terminally online and wasn't necessarily, obsessed with attention. Now, I'm not saying that, me, like, responding the way I did was right. I'll admit, the way I responded to this was not that good. The fact that, Asher literally herself, this isn't my words, this is her words, she wrote that script and everything like that. She, back in 2020, and 2021 apparently, was, like, terminally online, I guess, so she just loved the attention. And it makes sense to do that, but apparently it went too far, where even she said that she didn't expect to go that far. And basically, back when Crow was trying to set me up with grooming rumors, to take me down, because her entire gimmick, was exposing predators before she got turned out to be one herself. I have an entire playlist of exposed videos on her in the description you guys can all check out. So that's like, the entire thing. Apparently, since her gimmick was exposing predators, she tried to set me up back when I was beefing with a couple of her friends in September of 2022, to, throw me into other people that she exposed on her channel. And then in October, when I was only 16 years old, and I was I believe a junior in high school at the time, I was 11th grade, so I was a minor. She, started lying about my age. First, she said I was 17, almost 18 at the time. That's not true. I was 16 years old and barely 17. I was like months away from turning 17 at the time. And, all of this was nonsense. And again, I am aware, like, yeah, it wouldn't have happened if, Asher, again, was not obsessed with, like, being, like, terminally online, getting attention at the time. I get that. I understand that it wouldn't have happened. And I am aware that indeed at the time, she did just, want to participate in this with Krova because Krova was a manipulator at the time. And she, used a lot of her friends, including me. I used to be friends with Krova in the summer of 2022 before all this drama happened. Apparently, since I didn't have cool relations with one of Krova's at the time's friends, who she also backstabbed, which is Underman, but we don't really talk about him that much anymore. Yeah, this all happened, all spiraled into this situation, and here we are now. But that's enough of that. We already cleared out the Astor situation, so Astor's situation is done, and Krova's situation is also done, because I spent like literally 2 years exposing Krova, okay? Her channel, if you go on her channel, her old channel still exists, but all of the videos on me, they have their comments disabled. Why? Because she's too scared to let people say that she's wrong in her comments. And the video, the Decca Files, is the only one still up, but that's on alt channel. But her actual channel, it's Crow vs. Z. It used to have, 10,000, 13,000 subscribers. Now it only has 9,000 subs. All the videos off of it got deleted. Because, apparently, she realized herself that, she just wasn't going to win this war with all of the allegations against her. The fact that she had, 10 plus victims, I believe. And she still hasn't gotten punished for it. Yeah, see, that already got cleared. You could literally watch the entire saga in the description of this video of me exposing Krova. So, Krova, that's, over with. I already exposed her. She's off the internet, okay? She's not even on the platform anymore. I already got her off. But, the Asher situation, that's been debunked. So, now, let's go on with Kating. And I'm actually going to, take an extra step here and show the DMs that I had with Kaden, to prove that nobody was groomed. So, let's actually show the full conversation that I did have with Kaden to prove that Kaden is a fucking liar.
Alright, so, hold on, I'm gonna have to go back, way into these, old, DMs or something like that. I can't see. Okay, here we go. So, I'm just gonna actually show you guys, and, hold up a second. I'm just going to make sure, okay, yeah, my microphone and internal audio recording's on. I just had to check something, but, anyways, alright, so, enough of that. I'm gonna have to scroll up to the beginning of this conversation. So, story of me and Caden. Um, Basically, Caden the Gritty Master, or they call themselves Exploding Caden now. They keep renaming themselves on Discord, but their channel is still Caden the Gritty Master. Me and Caden met on a Battle for Dream Island Discord server, specifically the official one by Jack and Jellify. I was trying to get back into the series at the time from when I was a kid, but never really got into it, right? And I was venting about having no friends, having like a lot of people who switched up on me at the time at the server. This is back before I founded TZE, so I didn't really have a central friend group. I just had acquaintances, mutuals, and all of them were online like friends, right? I didn't have like a centralized, not even online friends, just like online acquaintances and mutuals. It was not until TZE started, like a few weeks after that, when I got my first group of friends. Most of them in that group ended up trading me over the rumors as well. But then I got like that group, those people out, and now I only have real ones in the group, whatever, right? But point being, okay, so yeah, we met on the server weeks before this ended up trying to happen, and I was asking, are you really going to be friends with me, or are you going to go behind my back? So basically, this was me trying to ask them, like, okay, yeah, you said that we could be friends because you felt bad for me that I had none. I can't trust some fakes anymore. And basically, he says, guys, I don't know, sometimes I started replying, whatever. And I said, I wasn't even asking about that. No, I'm not a fake. So we get the confirmation. And then, it was like, okay, I hope that's everything. That's cool. Whatever, right? And then, these are just some random photos I sent, and then, says epic, it's all cool. And then I was saying, I was just testing you to see if you got, like, mad or crashed out when I send random pics, because I do that to my friends all the time. Sometimes they get mad, but, most of them are cool with it. Some just freaking got mad at me in the past for it, whatever, and just blocked me or stopped being friends with me, whatever. And then this is what happens. I announced that TZE is coming up, but at the time, nobody really knows it. And then, I just say I'm really not trying to show deep affection right now. I love you, but I really don't want to yet, so please don't take it personally. Now, people might be saying, oh, you said I love you to somebody younger than you, so that must mean you're like, a pedophile, right? But no, I'm actually going to tell you. So, see, in America, we have something called free speech, aka the First Amendment. This is what we have in our country. People like Soph the Neko and Krova, all of these people. Some of these people that are exposing me are from the United States, but most of them are from overstate. They're not even from the U.S., so they have no idea about our Constitution. They don't know what the U.S. Constitution is. In the First Amendment, it says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So this is what's in the Constitution. And if you're from America, you should know this, because, this is taught in, like, 7th grade civics class if you even went to school, right? But if you're not from America, I don't blame you for not knowing this. However, though, in our nation, we have free speech. This is our guaranteed rights as Americans. I was born in the United States, so even if birthright citizenship gets removed, I'm still a citizen because my mom's from here, and my dad's not, but my dad got citizenship in 2021, so it's not like I can get, like, deported, right? Like, obviously, I still have the right to U.S. citizenship, so I have the right to exercise the First Amendment, because, we live in America, and this is what our Constitution guarantees. Congress can't, like, limit free speech or, any, like, religion or anything like that, right? So when I went here and I said, basically whatever, like, I'm going to go back up again, because I have to, like, go back up, but right here when I said, I love you, I'm not really, like, trying to take it personally, whatever, right? That's just freedom of speech. That's what we have in America, right? And then the rest of it, I said I'm tired, and then this is where they go in attention seek. Instead of saying, like, okay, I understand you're tired, maybe you'll get, like, better tomorrow, you won't say random stuff, because I say a lot of random stuff when I'm tired. And I love you is not always romantic. If you actually, like, look up the definition of I love you on Google, it could be romantic, non-romantic. Like, this is, like, basic, English. It's basic English literature. Caden instead plays victim because they've been groomed in the past, which is not a good thing, but they end up playing victim and start projecting past trauma on me and say, hey, guys, I'm a minor. And, basically we have this argument. We say, like, a bunch of stuff, and that's kind of where, like, it goes off, but basically it started with this. Literally just this one thing.
no signs of grooming prior to the argument, right? Literally just, I love you, and that's it. Like, but apparently, I guess we live in 2025 where in America, like, literally Americans can't use freedom of speech anymore. Like, we live in America, but this apparently doesn't exist in 2025 anymore. And I said I love you platonically, not romantically. Like, it's literally in Google, romantic, right? It can be romantic, but it depends on the context, right? So basically, like, that's literally just how it is. But you get the idea. I don't have to keep going on. I'm just saying this is really just how it is. So yeah, but enough of that. So freedom of speech, Caden, you might have been groomed in the past, which is bad, but projecting the past trauma on me and trying to, get me convicted when you literally let me in, like you literally let me contact you and everything like that, that's not right. And then you're using past rumors from a girl who has allegations against herself to like expose me. That's not really cool. But either way, this is the full conversation. No grooming, no foul play, whatever, right? So yeah, that's bullshit. And basically, I don't know. I guess we don't have free speech in America anymore, but I still think we have free speech in America. I mean, it says so in our Constitution, so I think I'm legally allowed to say this. And I love you is not really romantic. It could be platonic. It could be anything. So I was just saying it platonically, not romantically. Like, you can't get me convicted for that or arrested for that. So sorry, Caden, but you're projecting past trauma.
Now, there's also a bunch of like other said, rumors about, oh, me sending pictures of my body to Asher. That never happened, okay? Like, literally, you could ask Asher herself. She would even tell you, I never sent her those pictures. I never sent her pictures of, like, I'm not gonna say it, but, down there. Like, there's people saying that, and literally even Asher, like, again, ask her right now. She will admit I never sent those pictures. And as for the alleged screenshots of me sending those pics to Krova, number one, I actually exposed that, most of them were indeed Photoshop, and then, in fact, in the DMs, Krova was talking, like, to herself or whatever, most of the time throughout, the whole thing, like, back when me and her were still interacting, trying to make up messages on the fly, and, just to Photoshop them, take me out of context, expose me, whatever, right? And I was manipulated by her a bit. Like, there's been times where I kept being friends with her and then stopped being friends with her. I finally stopped being friends with her after I realized, like, what she was doing, right? But I made a video about it on YouTube Shorts, and it got taken down from YouTube, so I had to repost it on TikTok to prove that, yes, it was, like, all Photoshop. I didn't actually send, those images or whatever. However, though, unfortunately, I have to probably re-upload that to here since my TikTok no longer exists. I kind of quit all social media except for YouTube and Discord a while back ago. Now, as for, the whole dilemma with, if I even sent them in general, even then, even if I sent those pics in general, Krova was like, what, 15 at the time, and I was maybe 17 in very early 2023. That's a 2-year age gap. Come on, people. We live in Florida, okay? I mean, I live in Florida. I don't know where you guys live, but in my state, like, I literally cannot face any legal repercussions for, something like that. Even if it was true, even if it was not photoshopped. Like, come on, we're in Florida, okay? Do you really think a Florida police officer is going to say, oh, this 17-year-old did a freaky thing with a 15-year-old. That's the same exact thing as a 40-year-old dating an 8-year-old. Come on. We live in Florida. I can legally do that. Like, Romeo and Juliet law says I can because 4 years type thing, right? I never go below 4 years, so keep my limits there. I'm currently 19, and according to the Romeo and Juliet laws, basically age of consent in Florida is 16. If you're 16 to 23 years old, once you become 24 in our state, it becomes 18. Weird, isn't it? Like, you can't. You basically can do it with, like, 16 and 17-year-olds in my state legally. Like, Google this, look this up, it's true. Until you're 24, but then when you're 24, you can only do it with 18 and up. Weird laws, but that's how it is in our state. It doesn't matter what it is in your state, what it is in your country. In Florida, I can't be convicted. Let's just be real. Like, come on, we live in Florida. Do you really think, like, Florida police, they're going to, set all of their time aside just to, like, deal with some stupid internet drama, and, deal with, like, what, 2 community posts used by, I don't know, Austin K. Hansen Dramatic. I covered him earlier in a video. saying that I had like Roblox e-sex when that's literally just two out of context community posts. Like, bro, you have to provide actual proof of me doing this. Like, you can't just drag two community posts and be like, oh yeah, that's proof. Like, I don't know. He's a weirdo. But either way, oh hey, switch to another room. My bad. This one's darker. But yeah, either way, that's like BS. Like, come on, you literally cannot be serious when you say, oh, hey, he has two community posts saying that he had like e-sex or whatever. Like, come on, man, really, like, and I didn't even say that in those community posts. Like, you literally just took what those community posts said. I didn't actually see what posts he used, but I was told that apparently he literally just took these two out of context community posts and just allegedly connected the dots, and said that based on that confirms I had e-sex. Like, come on, you're pathetic, my guy. That's just pathetic. Like, if you're saying this stuff. But yeah, that debunks that. That debunks, the whole e-sex allegations, whatever, But yeah. By the way, I want to note that, all of these people, Masso, or Smug Genos, as he's formerly known by, Nermatic, all these people, they've been beefing with me online since 2018, even before the allegations started, before I even started making music, in fact. So they've always been trying to take me down since day one. Krova got exposed, Asher, Caden allegations clear. Like, literally, the evidence is right there. Literally, look at this video. You can look back in this video if you still don't believe me. Like, evidence is right there. And also I have a playlist, exposing Krova from a year ago. That's still relevant today. You could see everything that I pretty much dropped the bomb on her last year. Like, she's done for, all right? Caden was projecting past trauma, yada. But, everybody else, right? So, Soph the Neko, Demvo555 or whatever. But mainly it's all been campaigns, harassment, hate campaigns run by Soph. Although in America, whether that's legal or not varies, Soph the Neko, who originally used to be on my side, originally thought I was being slandered, and I would have screenshots of these comments where she said I was originally being slandered back when these allegations first resurfaced in March, but then switched up, and then, later on backstabbed me. I hid all of those comments. I hid her from my channel, deleted all those comments, so I no longer have them, but she was on my side at one point before, this whole thing got out of hand, again, for the second time. I already spent 2 years clearing these allegations last summer. There's resurfacing now because I literally proved that Caden is only doing this to project past trauma. He's literally just attention. He wants views, guys. People like Caden want views, and I proved it. This is like, this can't be like, an actual, like, case. No, this is literally just a kid who wants views on the internet. I'm not going to give him any attention, especially when Asher admitted I never groomed her, Krova has been exposed, whatever, right? But all that aside, Soph the Neko, and again, Denvo and the others, they're as bad too. Lightshore, too graceful, quit YouTube recently, so I don't care about them anymore. But Soph the Neko specifically, because she's been the one spearheading this, when she was originally on my side, basically, in her country, I believe it's illegal to start harassment campaigns online for people, even if it's not death threats. Cyberbullying is illegal against Canadian law, and she did say cyberbullying things to me. It's just how, my music is horrid, and, she basically sent fans to attack me constantly. Like, every time I made a video about her, she put it on her community tab, and she linked all of her fans to go to it. Like, I could, pull up screenshots right now if you guys really want me to do another video where I show proof that, or not even another video, but that's like a post where I show proof that she sent fans to go after me. All that, and I know that, yes, I, have been, encouraging people to raid her too, but that's retaliation. In my country, it's legal. In her country, however, especially when she started it, that's not legal. It violates the Canadian, criminal code of offenses to do that, so I just wanted to leave it on that note. Soph the Neko could be in legal trouble if she doesn't respond to this video by telling her fans to stop harassing me. If she continues to tell her fans to keep harassing me, then I'm going to have to Interpol to Canadian police. I believe she lives in British Columbia, so I'll have to find what city she lives in there and Interpol to them. But apparently, yeah, this is illegal against, the criminal Canadian offenses code, so basically, yeah, this is not cool. So, getting your fans to harass me every time I make a video, linking it on your community tab, and then telling your fans to go to it, that's illegal in your country. Whether it is in mine or not varies, but in your country, that's 100% illegal, especially when you do it first. So I warn you to at least,
tell your fans to stop, because that's not cool. Them will shine. They're just random people in the beef. They don't really know anything about the issue, but they're going with what they hear on the internet, so they join in. And then lastly, who else? There was one more person I was going to mention. Oh, yeah, Bloodspeth. Bloodspeth, I'm not even going to, do anything with Bloodspeth. Basically, Bloodspeth didn't even think for a second to interview me or ask me, about the allegations. He just went right ahead and, made the video without even, interviewing me once. So, yeah, this debunks Bloodspeth, this debunks everybody else. This video is pretty much bulletproof, and it can't really be debunked. This is a very solid video, and I would say everything in here is 100% factual. So, what you have here is a bulletproof video, undebunkable, and this ends the day allegations. And yeah, I'm going to be moving on with my music now.